Welcome to Morning Flow. This is Leo Bray. This is Yanni. Here on behalf of Urban Yoga Palm Springs, you can visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out the schedule. Stop by the tip jar to support our classes. We have classes every day online. We'll start today sitting, or if you'd rather, you can kneel. And you don't have to sit the way we're sitting. Sit so that you're comfortable. Maybe it's like this, maybe it's not. Feel into your contact with the ground. Just settle and ground your seat. If you want to, close your eyes. Rest your hands where it's comfortable for you to bring your attention to your breathing. Allow it to slow down and get deeper simply by focusing on it. We'll work today with being receptive, being open to new experiences, new sensations, mental flexibility, you could say. So as your breathing slows down and gets deeper, really notice how that feels. Not presuming that we know how it feels just because we've done it a bunch of times. Really notice. Try not to have preconceptions. We talk about the concept of beginner's mind. Each practice is new, like each day is new. And even if we've done something many, many times, it's always new. I never heard that rooster teaching up here before, so that's new. It might be little things, it might be big things that are new. Taking in whatever sounds are going on around you or the sounds going on around us as they come from our mic to your speaker. Whatever sounds are in your space, whatever other things are touching upon your senses. Your environment is part of your practice, whatever is there or whatever comes up as we go along, are just other elements to integrate into the practice. A dear friend of ours, yeah, sometimes someone will cough while you're talking. It's just something to integrate. A dear friend of ours has a lovely way of putting this. She'll say, acknowledge all the circumstances of your practice. And I think that's a great way to capture both the internal and the external stuff. Turning inward, scan your body to see what's going on. Again, not presuming we know what's going on. Maybe something leapt immediately to mind because you noticed it earlier, but really pay attention to what's going on. Take it all in. Maybe there's something new. Maybe there's something you hadn't noticed. Making particular note of anything that doesn't feel so good. So even as we look for and remain open to new things, familiarity and structure help. So we want to always stay mindful of anything we've got going on, take care of any issues you detect in the body, any stiffness or soreness, by remembering that you can skip or modify any part of practice. Maybe there are things you always modify or always skip, or maybe you like to mix it up. Maybe something new will occur to you today. You'll try something you hadn't tried before, or you'll skip something that you haven't skipped before. If you wish to add a personal intention to your practice. You could layer that on now, let it come together and take root. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe into your nose and out through your mouth with a sighing sound. Or maybe stick your tongue out and do lion's breath. Maybe that's something new. Let your eyes open up. Let's reach our hands out to the sides and rest fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, let your arm drape across your head so your fingertips come to rest by your right ear. Nice and gently, use the weight of your arm to draw your head to the left. If you like, you could lift your right hand a little and extend out through your fingertips, lengthening the trapezius muscle in the side of the neck. And if it doesn't feel good to raise your hand like that, of course, let it down. With each movement, each posture, each sequence, just continually noticing or coming back to noticing when the mind wanders. If that right hand is raised, let it down. Let your neck stay passive and relaxed. Allow your hand to slowly slide across your head and slide down to your cheek, and let that left arm do the work of nudging your head back up to center line, and then let your left hand down. Inhaling, raise your right arm up alongside your ear, and exhaling, let it drape across your head. Gently draw your head to the right. And if you like, lift your left hand and reach out through your fingertips. Breathing into sensation. Something feels tight, think of sending your breath there, helping to ease that tightness. If your left hand is raised, let it down, letting your neck stay passive. Let your right hand slide across your head, come down to your cheek. Use your arm to nudge your head up to center, and let your hand down. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Inhale, draw your heart forward, let your head tip back. Exhale, draw your heart back and let your head tip forward. Continue at the pace of your own breath. We don't have to go at the same speed. I think we have just as many bird sounds here as we have in Cozumel. Maybe some different birds to notice. Maybe it's not the same amount of sound. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. Maybe it doesn't matter. Smooth, fluid movement, continuous breath, continuous motion. Using the whole inhale to come forward and the whole exhale to go back. And after the next exhale, bring yourself upright. And let's come up onto our hands and knees, maybe tipping to one side or maybe tipping forward to get there. Bringing your hips above your knees and your shoulders above your wrists. You can pad your knees if you like by folding up the edge of the mat or adding a blanket or towel. Reach back with your left foot, press the ball of your foot against the floor. Relax the pressure on your foot, slide it out to the side, bring it in line with your hip. So maybe it rests on the inner edge of your foot, or maybe your foot flattens to the floor. It really doesn't matter. My foot doesn't do the same thing all the time. And we're going to start out small and gently explore a rocking movement here. Exhale, sit back towards your right heel a little, and inhale, glide forward. And just see how much of that feels helpful to you. Be mindful of the sensation on your inner left thigh so you don't overdo it. Breathing into wherever you feel sensation. It might be along the outsides of your knee, might be somewhere else in your thigh, outer hip, groin, a line from your sacrum to your outer hip, maybe somewhere else. And maybe the movements are growing bigger, maybe they're staying about the same. Next time you come forward with your shoulders above your wrists, pause there. Walk your hands further out. This becomes like downward facing dog in your upper body with hands out front. Let your head come down between your arms. Let your neck release. And then walk your hands over to the right. Maybe a foot, maybe more, maybe like a foot and a half. Think of sending your right hip a couple inches towards your right heel. Press your hands, press away from the floor. Walk your hands back towards center line and then back in under your shoulders. Swing your foot back behind and bring your knee down to the floor and take some traditional cow-cat breaths. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone go up. Exhale, draw your heart up, let your head and tailbone come down. Noticing how this movement feels different here compared to when we did it seated. Different perspective on the same motion. Similar motion. After your next exhale, come back to table. Reach back and press into the ball of your right foot for a couple of breaths. Ease off that pressure on your foot, bring it out to the side in line with your hip. And remembering to start small and gently. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come forward. One side may move more easily than the other, and that's okay. How much feels sufficient? Not how far can I possibly go. Maybe sufficiency is a new perspective, a new experience. We can get caught up in bigger, better, faster, more. We don't have to do the most. We don't have to go the furthest. Next time you rock forward, stop with the rocking. Walk your hands forward. Let your head come down between your arms. And walk your hands over to the left. Press away from the floor, send your left hip back a little. Walk your hands back into center. And back in under your shoulders. Bring your foot back behind your knee. Bring your knee down. And take those cow-cat breaths. After your next exhale, coming back through table, we'll start to step forward into a fold. Bring your left foot up between your hands. Maybe it takes more than one step. Maybe you have blocks under your hands. Maybe your hand helps your leg. Bring your right foot up to join your left and hang out heavy head and heavy arms, swaying back and forth. One knee, then the other, bending and lengthening. No need to lock them. Bend a little or bend a lot. Maybe your hands are dragging on the ground. Maybe they're hanging in the air. Maybe you like to hold your elbows in your hands. We're going to take some traction for your neck. Bring your hands to your head. Letting your hands hang down if they're doing something else. Gently shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Inhale, lift up halfway, press your hands to your shins. Feel the crown of your head move forward away from your tailbone. Exhale, relax down. Inhale, roll up to standing, hands overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. I don't think I've ever sneezed in the middle of a sun salutation before. That's not a sun salutation yet. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether I did that before or not. The sneeze snuck up on me. Feel your feet grounding. Shift back and forth. Let your feet find their way under your hips. Let your arms hang at your sides. Find some stillness. There's always some movement. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Slide it back and let it down. And then your right shoulder up and back and down. Inhale, reach out to the sides. As you exhale, you can reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or take eagle arms, intertwining your arms and pressing your hands together. If you take eagle, then move your elbows and your hands forward and up. Either way, we breathe into the space between the shoulder blades, opening the back of the heart. Inhale, open up. Exhale, cross your arms opposite way. Inhale, open up. Exhale, let your arms down. Inhale, out and up. Interlace your fingers, reach your palms towards the sky, and look up at your hands and lift up your heart. With an inhale, come upright. As you exhale, bend to the right. I just cued that wrong. That's okay, as long as we all get both sides. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bend the other way. I neglected to use my mirroring tactic there. On that cue. Inhale, come up. Exhale, let your arms come down. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hip, tap, way. Exhale, fold. Rest your fingertips on the floor. Step your left foot back, runner's lunge. Inhale, reach forward, reach up, crescent lunge, high lunge. If the high lunge is too much, it's okay. Gently let the left knee down and uncurl the left toes and take a lower lunge. In either lunge, doesn't matter, you can change your mind anytime. You're gonna exhale, sink forward in the hips, draw the arms down, the cactus. Inhale, glide back and reach up. So you can change your mind anytime. See, I was thinking I want the higher lunge and my knee says, no, let's come down. Old injury in this knee. The movement in the hips is the same. This is stabler too, being down low. Sometimes we want to be high and challenge ourselves more. Sometimes we want to be low and be more grounded and stable. And there's often this trial and error element, right? That's part of the perspective is that query. What's the best lunge? What's the better lunge here today? For this body, for this knee, for this side. Maybe on the other side, the higher lunge would be better. Yeah, maybe you skip the arm movement. Maybe it's one arm up, one arm on the knee. At the top of the movement, reach your left hand back. You can reach your right hand forward or bring it to your knee for steadiness. And maybe if you're in a high lunge, you just came to the lower one because that becomes more challenging when you twist the higher lunge. Come through center with your hands by your heart and twist to your right. Come back to center. Bring your hands down to the floor, maybe just your fingertips, maybe plant your hands, maybe you have blocks, and switch legs. Bring your right knee to the floor and bring your left foot forward. You can keep the right knee down or curl the toes under, press into your foot to lift your knee. Inhale, reach forward and up and find your lunge, high or low. Find steadiness on your feet. When you're steady, exhale, sink forward, draw your arms down. Inhale, glide back and reach up. If you're in the higher lunge, don't let the front knee go forward past that ankle. It's okay to be right above your ankle or anywhere behind. If your knee starts to go forward more further than your ankle, scoot your foot forward so you don't hyperextend your knee. At the top of the movement, twists to the right. Come through center and twist to the left. Come through center. Bring your hands to the floor. Now, if your right knee is down, curl your toes under and press into your foot to lift your knee. And then step your left foot back to meet your right. Downward dog. And pedal your feet up and down. Let your heels get closer and closer to the floor. Maybe down dog is too much. Maybe you take child's pose. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your arms. I saw a great meme a couple of years ago. It was a person in the middle of supermarket aisle in child's pose, and the caption said, "My yoga teacher said I can take child's pose whenever I want." It was someone succumbing to holiday stress, but you can take child's pose whenever you want. Your left foot back planted at about a 45-degree angle. Bring your feet close to the edges of your mat. Think of your feet on railroad tracks. Feel for grounding in the ball of your right foot and the outer edge of your left foot. We're setting up for warrior one. Reach your arms up. Let your shoulders down a little. Just let your shoulders melt away from your ears a bit. And turn your pinkies in towards each other so your palms face back. Then bring your elbows to your rib cage. Lower your forearms parallel to the floor, keeping your elbows in close. Inhale, slide your hands out. Exhale, bring them to the front again. Let's do it a few more times. Inhale and exhale. Then bring your hands up and put them together. If you're indoors, maybe aim at where the wall meets the ceiling. Something like that. Keeping your lower body as it is. We'll flow from this variation of warrior one to a humble warrior a few times like this. Exhale, bow towards your right knee, reach your hands back. Inhale, reach forward and up again. And try it 3 or 4 more times. Exhale. Inhale. And bring your hands to your hips. And we'll transition to warrior two. So pivot the left foot open, making your feet perpendicular. Now slide in the line behind your left foot. No more railroad tracks, switching to the monorail. Square your shoulders and hips to the long edge of your mat. And if you like to deepen your stance like I was just doing, go ahead. My body likes to have more space between my feet in warrior two, along the length of the mat, than I have in warrior one. Still feeling for grounding in the outer edge of this foot and the ball of this foot. Make sure this knee is aimed where these toes are aimed to keep that knee stable and safe. Reach your arms to the sides. Look out over your right fingertips. Inhale, turn your palms up. Exhale, rotate forward. If it helps to get more rotation in your arms, bend your elbows a bit. Take a few more breaths, a few more rotations back and forth. Back and forth. We were talking yesterday about the difference between back and forth and side to side. Back means backwards. Forth means forward. Sometimes in English, we use these words when we're talking about something moving left to right. And that's a confusing usage, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Turn just the front palm up. We'll go to reverse warrior. Keep the lower body as it is. Inhale, tip back, reach up. Right hand up above your face, look out towards it. Left hand can rest lightly on your leg. Press to your hip for support or slide across your lower back in a half bind. Exhale, tip forward, reach forward, side angle pose. Right forearm lightly to right thigh. Left arm reaches overhead towards the top of the mat. If you like, circle the top arm. If you like, play with extending the bottom arm out to the side or to the front to engage your core more. Play with that a bit. If your arm's extended, bring it back to your thigh. And let's do a dancing warrior. Inhale, reverse warrior, tip back, reach up. Exhale to side angle, tip forward, reach forward. 2 or 3 more times. Let's inhale back up to warrior 2 and dance from here to gentle warrior. Inhale, raise your arms, straighten the right leg, turn your head to the left, 90 degrees. Exhale, lower your arms, turn your head to the right, bend that right knee. Inhale, gentle warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more or 3, maybe your breaths are shorter than mine, maybe you're moving faster. Then from warrior 2, straighten the right leg most of the way. Keep a small bend in your knee to protect it. Draw your left hip back. Slide your right hand forward. Tip to triangle. Right hand down, left hand up. Your hand might be on the ground or on a block or on your leg. Your arm might be inside your leg or outside. Picture stacking your hands. Left hand up above your right hand. Bring your left hand to your hip. Inhale, reach your right hand forward and stand. Bring your right hand to your hip. Pivot onto the ball of your left foot. Push off the ball of your foot and step forward. I'll have a drink of water before we repeat all that to the other side. And then it will be time to sit down. Hands at your heart, step your right foot back, plant it about a 45-degree angle. Take up most of the width of your mat. Warrior 1, feet and legs. Arms up, shoulders down a bit. Pinkies in, palms back. Warrior 1. Elbows to ribs, forearms parallel to the ground. Inhale, open your hands. Exhale, bring them forward. Bring your arms up and bring your palms together. Exhale, bow forward, reach back. Inhale, reach forward, stand up. Humble warrior, warrior 1 variation. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your right foot open. Slide it in line behind your left foot. Deepen your stance if you like. Square your shoulders above your hips. Reach your arms to the sides. Look over your left fingertips. Inhale, rotate back. Exhale, rotate forward. Turn just your left palm up. Remember to keep the lower body where it is. Inhale, tip back and reach up, reverse warrior. Deep breaths into your left side. Exhale, tip forward, reach forward, side angle. If you like, circle your right arm. Maybe your shoulder enjoys that, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the other shoulder did. If you want, extend the bottom arm for more core engagement. Maybe forward, maybe to the side, maybe not at all. If your arm's extended, bring it back to your leg. Dancing warrior, inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Follow your left hand with your eyes as you go back and forward. That's a neat perspective thing. The background behind your hand changes. The hand stays in your line of sight. Inhale up to warrior two. And we'll dance to gentle warrior. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, glide down. Head swiveling 90 degrees. To the right as you go up. To the left as you come down. And from warrior two, straighten the left leg most of the way. Draw your right hip back towards your right foot. Slide your left hand forward. And tip, left hand down, right hand up. Big breaths in triangle pose. Lungs opened, way up. Cleansing breaths if you feel too warm. Release excess heat. Right hand to right hip. Inhaling, reach your left hand forward and stand. Left hand to left hip. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot and step forward. And have a seat.
Sip.
Have a sip in the seat, sure. Have both. Have a sip and have a seat. Extend your legs forward and flex your feet back. Same shape pretty much as standing forward fold, but since we're seated instead of standing, it will be very different. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. If your knees want to bend, let them bend. In a standing forward fold, they'd always be bent. Maybe here, your legs are longer and your knees aren't so bent. Inhale, think of the crown of your head reaching forward. Exhale, think of lowering down some more. So we don't generally explore that dynamic in a standing forward fold, letting the breath deepen the fold. So it's only superficially similar. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit yourself up. Bring the soles of your feet together, leave a big space between your pelvis and your heels. And grab the mat. You might reach over your ankles or under your ankles, whatever's better for you today. Walk your hands forward on the mat. Traction in the arms, pretzel-shaped fold. Let your neck disengage and your head hang down. Breathe into wherever you feel the most sensation. Slowly walk your hands back and press yourself upright. Keeping your feet together, bring your heels in as close as you can. Interlace your fingers, grab your feet in your hands, wriggle on your seat. Bring those bones in the seat closer to the floor to tilt your pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Keeping the spine long, exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. See how far the long spine will go. When the long spine isn't lowering anymore, let your neck disengage. Breathe into your hips. Inhale, slowly sit up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees. Use your arms to lift your legs towards each other. Rest your hands on the floor, out behind your hips. Wiggle your feet out by the edges of your mat. And let your knees go back and forth. As your knees go to one side, turn your head to the other side. And bring your feet in about hip width apart. You can check. Have two fists between the tops of your feet or yoga block in the middle position. Set up for bridge pose. I'm going to turn around. You can scoot towards your heels and come down on your back, or come down on your back and then scoot your heels towards your butt. So you wind up on your back with your feet as close to your butt as they can go. Press into the soles of your feet and inhale to lift your hips up to bridge pose. For a deeper heart opener, if you want, wriggle your shoulder blades towards each other, clasp your hands, reach your knuckles towards your heels. If you're clasping your hands, release them and then exhale, slowly lower down. Almost left something out there. Don't want to lower down on top of your clasped hands. Explore floating up and down and bridge a few times at your own pace. Challenge yourself as much as you like. Next time you lower your hips, pause there. If you use blocks, you might have one between your knees on the middle position. You could put one between your hands and rest it on your knees, or just rest your hands on your knees. Inhale, reach your arms up and back. Let your hands come to rest on the floor, up past your head. Exhale, float your arms forward and down. And you add that arm movement to the hip movement for floating bridge. Inhale, lift your hips, float your arms up and back. Exhale, lower your hips, float your arms forward and down. And then explore bridge as you like. So maybe you keep going like this. Maybe you skip the arm movement and move the hips. You could take a supported bridge by lifting up and putting a prop under your sacrum, coming down to rest on it. And then as Yanni was doing a couple minutes ago, you might do the arm movement while you're supported by the prop under you. So let your arms rest. You could leave your feet on the ground or play with lifting your legs into different shapes. Lots of different ways to explore bridge. And if you don't have blocks, lots of different things you could use. Folded blankets or towels, bolster, throw pillow, foam roller. So maybe you like floating up and down. Maybe you enjoy more supported bridge time. Very low supported bridge variation. I've stacked my hands, palms down, and I'm just resting my sacrum on the back of my hands. And everyone's different. Maybe that doesn't feel good in your hands. Maybe you have props around, maybe you don't. You could also use a yoga mat rolled up, makes a nice prop you could put under your back. Sort of like a firm bolster, a rolled mat. And whatever bridge you're exploring, let's wrap it up. So if you're in supported, lift up your support, move it out from under you. Exhaling, come on down. Draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees. Rock and roll on your back, massage it against the ground, moving in circles or side to side or more randomly. And usually at this point, I'll offer a supine twist. Today, I'll offer choices. There are 3 different supine twists I like to use as we're winding down practice. So the simplest one is drawing your knees towards your chest, arms to the side. All of them involve keeping the shoulders grounded as much as you can. So you might do this with your knees towards your chest, let the knees go to one, and turn your head to the other. The other options, you might plant one foot across your ankle above your knee, like a figure 4 legs, and then let the legs go one way, head go the other. That's an energizing twist. The deeper twist would be to cross your knee over your knee and let your legs go to one side, head to the right. Now here you can keep the foot on the ground as the legs go over, or you might draw the knees in. So in any leg configuration, the closer your knees are to your chest as you come into the twist, the deeper the twist feels. So you can regulate that sensation. Maybe you want a deeper twist, maybe you don't. Whatever twist you do, spend several breaths in the twist. The breath will bring you out. You come into different positions. The breath gets into different places and accomplishes different things. Make sure to take your twist, whatever one you're doing, to both sides. And no, you don't have to do the same one on both sides. Maybe you're doing more than one. Maybe you're just picking one. but we want to try to keep the body fairly equalized. Okay, if one side seems to need more attention, maybe one side you want to hold the twist longer, perfectly fine. You're listening to your body. Whenever you feel you've spent enough time in your twists, you can draw your knees in towards your chest, reach your feet up, reach your hands up to grab your legs or feet. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs in happy baby pose. Or maybe exploring some other inversion. Bring your legs and your feet higher than your heart in any way you want to. Maybe you want to be more still. Maybe you want to explore a lot of movement. Maybe somewhere in between. Could be one inversion. It could be more than one. Whenever you feel complete with inverting, make your way to your final rest pose. Maybe not corpse pose. Maybe it's something else. Whatever comfortable looks like for you right now. Maybe you come back to an intention you set when we begin to reflect upon it. Maybe reflecting on perspective, being flexible, exploring change. Maybe just observing the breath. Maybe just being there, not aiming your attention anywhere in particular. Begin to find some deeper breath. Nice and slowly invite movement back to your body. Take your time to let those movements gradually grow bigger and bigger. Cherishing the relaxation, taking your time. When you're ready, so nice and gently sit yourself up. Bring your hands up by your heart. Thank you for sharing practice today. And the light within me sees and honors that same light in each of you. Namaste.